Separation anxiety. What really is that? Some people think that there are phases and there are times when at certain ages where it just kind of appears, and other people will spot triggers and find that there's a reason why maybe it cropped up. Either of those could be true. What do you usually see? You might see an increased amount of clinginess from your child. Perhaps they just, you seem really anxious whenever they're away from you. They could just be like that in personality though. Or perhaps it is a triggered thing, like perhaps they've just started at nursery and they're used to being with you 24/7 and suddenly they're being taken away from you for patches of time and it's making them just go, oh, hold on, where are you? And then when you are there, stuck like glue, won't let you go. And that's quite natural as well. Those are signs of a healthy attachment, so don't worry. If your child is not with you and then when they're back with you, they're just thrilled to be with you and want to stick to you, that's okay. It's a sign that they have a healthy attachment, they're happy to be back with you. So, does it come in phases? It can do, it can. Developmentally, children can reach stages where they're seeing more, they're going into more social environments and they're, exploring but wanting to check, hang on, you're still there, where's mummy, where's daddy? They just want to know that you're still close by. How can you help a child who's perhaps displaying this? Well, first of all, it doesn't massively matter whether it's being triggered, it's a phase, or even if they're just not very well. That's another good one. It could be that your child is just a bit under the weather, and when they're not feeling well, they can be extra clingy. Even as, school age children, you can see that sort of clinginess and neediness when they're not firing on all cylinders. But what can you do to help? Especially with babies and toddlers and little ones who perhaps you can't converse with quite so easily. You can show an added and more focused engagement with them in the daytime. So I'm really thinking about how here you're going to sort of see this show up at nighttime. So we want to fix the night and the sleeps aspect. So in the daytime, have a look at how you can be really engaged with them. So perhaps where normally your child might play on the play mat whilst you're, folding laundry or whatever, and suddenly they won't do anything, they won't venture anywhere without you, and you feel it's quite draining. But things you can do are, even if they're not being needy, even when they're not desperately clinging to you, go over to them and go, what are you doing? Oh, should we have a look at this? And just get involved in something. Find an activity, thing to look at, obviously age appropriate, just something that will captivate them, but that really engages them with you. Your voice is so key in this. Hearing your voice and your tone to really give them that feeling of, of being, loved and heard, and you're interested in them. All of those things. If you volunteer that level of attention, when it's not even being asked for, that's going to really help with any signs of separation anxiety. And that's, I think, a really key point there is do it when they're not even looking for it. Do it when they're not even asking for it. So maybe you're just seeing signs of separation anxiety at bedtime, or maybe you're just seeing signs of it, at random points in the week or in the day or whenever. So don't wait for that to come up. Just go, okay, look, I know it's there at the moment. So in the daytime, or when it's not expected or it's not being asked for, just show that real attentive engagement with your child. So that's one thing that you can do for sure. So how do you handle the nighttime, the night sleep and the settling? Perhaps your child has settled perfectly well, has been really good at sleeping, but due to what appears to be separation anxiety, you're suddenly seeing a shift in night sleep and a difficulty, and they don't want to let you go. So what can you do? Well, first of all, don't throw out the rule book, because there's every chance that if you have come from a situation where everything was fine and this is a new thing, then the chances are you had some routine, some structure, some flow to how your your bedtime routine and your responses to them in night times and everything else. You probably had some structure to how that worked. You probably had some kind of rules with what was okay and not okay with you, what you would and wouldn't be happy to do, and you probably did have some structure. Whatever that looked like, to whatever degree that was, what I'm saying now is just don't throw the rule book out just because you're seeing separation anxiety. I hate the word anxiety because it's quite a strong word, and it probably isn't that strong a feeling in the child at that time, but let's just say it is. So don't throw out the rule book. Don't just suddenly go, oh, well, they've got some separation anxiety at the moment, so I'll just forget all the usual rules and we'll just bring them into our bed, or I'll just cuddle them until they fall asleep, or whatever. Just don't drop all your rules, because you'll just get stuck there and you'll make it so much worse and so much harder to come back from. The second thing is to take a step inward. So for instance, if you normally would put your child down and say goodnight and leave the room, and they might wriggle and coo and then off they go to sleep, and that's how it normally would work, but now they're being all clingy and don't want to let you go, rather than go, oh my gosh, I can't even put them down, I have to hold them, I have to rock them to sleep, or like kind of throwing the rule book out, rather than going all the way into literally doing it all. Like, so leaving the room is, you don't need to do anything for them, they can put themselves to sleep. Going in and doing it, like picking them up and rocking them and I'll have to fix them because they just won't let me go, that's then doing it entirely for them. What I'm saying is, don't do that, but take a step inward. So perhaps they're not comfortable, all of a sudden they're not comfortable with you leaving the room. Okay, what if you were just in the room then? What if you did just stay in the room? What if you said, it's okay, I'm right here, you can see me now, shh, night night. What if you did that? Would that be enough? Maybe not. Maybe they need you to be a little bit closer. Maybe they need a bit more wind down time. They need you to just calm them and settle them, maybe a slightly longer bedtime routine, slightly longer story time or nursery rhyme time, just to give them that little bit more time to be with you, have you nearby. Perhaps you put them down and then you sit beside them and do a story or a nursery rhyme, so you're still there, but you're just making a slight move, slight separation, but it's not too dramatic. You need to figure out where that level is, but what I'm saying is there's probably a level that you can go to by taking a step inward, rather than just, I can't leave the room anymore, therefore I must have to just co-sleep or rock my child to sleep. You don't need to go to that extreme. And be clear, be really clear on what that is. So if that is, okay, I'm going to sit in the room and I'm going to read a story for a bit longer, then that's what you do. And if you feel like, yeah, this is fine, they're okay with this, they might not be thrilled and overjoyed, but it's better, it's working, they're not quite so frantic as if I leave the room, so we'll go with this. They don't have to be 100% on board, but if it's better than when you leave the room, go with that. But be clear on what you're going to do and stick to it. Don't be drawn in further. Don't be, especially I'm thinking of slightly older ones, the preschooler age and on, where they might go, oh, this is good, let's see what else I can get you to do. So don't get too drawn in, but be clear, decide what's going to work, what's comfortable for you and your child, and then be clear that that's what's going to happen and stick to it for some time. And be consistent in that delivery. So if they wake in the night time and you've sat in the room at bedtime, then you're going to need to go in and for that night waking and sit in the room again. You can't say, I'll sit here whilst you fall asleep at bedtime. And then night wakings, you just go, no, I'm not sitting there. It's nighttime now, I'm going to bed. So be consistent in that response. In the nighttime, each response, meet it with the same thing every time, because that will build back that security. I always know mummy or daddy are close by. I always know somebody's going to come. I always know that you're going to be there. When they know that and they feel that, that will build back that confidence, that security, and then you'll be able to move on to the next thing, which will be to then gently wean that back away. So as you've built up that confidence, you've got that reassurance there, they feel safe, they feel secure, then don't plateau and stay there. Go, okay, we're good. Now I'm going to move to being a bit further away, or now I'm going to just sit outside the door, let them know the door's ajar, and just little shh if they kind of call out or check. Or perhaps with an older one, it can be, okay, I'm going to let them know that I'm just going to go and fold the laundry, and then I'll come back and check on them in 10 minutes. That's a lovely reassuring feeling. A child will be more likely to just go, okay, coming back in 10 minutes. So they'll relax, and when they relax, they go to sleep. And lo and behold, when you pop your head in 10 minutes, they probably are asleep. But don't plateau on that inward step. Be clear on what it is. Do that for a short while, see how it's going, and then wean it back away is the best way I can describe that, to get back to where you once were. So there you go, some tips on managing separation anxiety, and helping a child who maybe is a little bit anxious or doesn't want you to be away from them, or especially if this is randomly cropped up out of nowhere, how you can help alleviate those symptoms and get them back to sleeping soundly all night long.